All right, family. I'm going to answer this question right now. This will be like a naked reaction, meaning like it's live. I mean, naked, but it's a live reaction. I read like the first paragraph, yeah, like a few words of first paragraph. Then I was like, nah, let me just read it with y'all. So, by the way, my name's Jacoby. No need for an intro. My presence is all you need to know. So, let's get into it. Let's read it. It says, I'm close to losing my faith, looking for fellow Christians to comment on my reasoning. Okay. It says, Hi, I'm closing to ditching my faith, and while I think I'm most certainly going to, I would like to hear what some of you have to say on my main reasons of why. Before I leave my faith, and if I do, my main questions, reasons are okay, where does God come from? I've heard the argument that something can't come from nothing, therefore, the earth had to have been created by God. But then by that logic, God has to come from somewhere, correct? But them, I'm also okay, that was a typo. I'm gonna say then. But then them, I'm also told he didn't come from anywhere. He has no beginning nor end, so he just exists. Then, correct? Which leads me to this. If God can just exist, not come from anything, then why can that not be true for the earth and the rest of the universe? That it just exists and wasn't created. I've come to disagree with the Bible on some stuff. Example, personally, I see no moral issue or problems with homosexuality. I have no problems with it either. I don't see an issue with sex before marriage so long as you're responsible and use protection, but the Bible does not agree with this. But this is what I truly believe and feel. There are sins, but in my eyes are morally okay, and I do not see it as evil. How am I supposed to follow it when my true beliefs conflicted? I realized the only reason I kept following God all these years is because of a fear of hell. I've been a Christian my whole life, but I've never felt the presence of God. I've never connected to Him. The only reason I follow was because if I didn't, I'd end up in hell. But now I feel that the idea of hell is fear mongering, just to keep the people in the religion. Okay, I was done. I realized, I, I realized I wasn't following God because I truly believed it was because I was told I suffered for eternity if I didn't follow him. I did used to believe, but recent years it was just because of the idea of hell. All right, let me answer this first question. Where does God come from? I want you to keep this in mind. God exists outside of time. Okay, I think one of the reasons why or which trips people up when it comes to believing in God is that they can't they can't grasp him. Okay, they try to grasp him with like our flawed mindset and our flawed thinking. Okay, so think of it like this: we can't grasp something that's outside of time. Only thing that we can grasp is on this earth, but something that exists outside of time, that expands, that goes past our understanding. It's like that's why that trips us up when we try to like fully like try to understand the full nature and like who God is. That's what trips people up. They think if they can't fully comprehend something, then they leave it to be false. Okay, sorry, I was watching something. So, so to answer that question, let me continue to answer this.
What?
Sorry, it's like it's late, so the reason why I'm talking like this is because I'm not trying to wake my people's up out of their whatever. All right, so I've heard the argument that something can't come from nothing, therefore the earth had to have been created by God. So let me take a step back. Before there ever was, God is. So how about this? This goes back to what I was saying. Like you can't fully comprehend something that's outside of time, and that's God. He exists outside of art. He exists outside of time. So we can't fully grasp him. If we try to grasp him, then that's when it leads to us having this type of disbelief, doubt, and whatever the case may be. So always keep this in the back of your head. Like he exists outside of time. So of course, it's not gonna be all things. Who's this? There's not gonna be some things that we can understand about God because in that case, if we understand everything about him, that wouldn't make him God, right? That wouldn't give us a reason to place our faith and trust in him, right? So think of it like this: we know that oxygen exists, but we can't see it. So in the same way, let me keep going. I've heard the argument that something can't come from nothing, therefore the earth had to have been created by God. Correct. But by that, by but then by that logic, God has to come from somewhere. Like I said, before there ever was an earth, before there ever was a universe, God is. Because think of it like this: the this earth and this universe is and is the earth and okay, the earth and the universe was is okay. It is a creation. Okay, in its end time. There it is. The earth and the universe is a creation. Okay, and it's also in time. You tracking? So since we know that God exists outside of time, since he exists outside of time, that means he been existed. So then what he did is that he made the earth and the universe. This goes back to Genesis chapter 1. All of this, I'm not trying to like blow you away with it, but this is basically what it is. Earth universe is a creation and it's in time. The earth universe, keep that in mind, they're both in time. Since God exists outside of time, before there ever was, he is. He been there. Okay. So but then God has to come from somewhere, correct? Okay, answer that. But then I'm also told he didn't come from anywhere, correct? He has no beginning or end. He's alpha and he is the alpha and the omega, the beginning and the end. So he just exists. And correct? Yeah, that's correct. Which leads me to this. If God can just exist, not come from anything, then why can that not be true for the earth? Keep reading. Not true for the earth and the rest of the universe, that it just exists and wasn't created. Wasn't created. Because think of it like this. I I answer this. Okay, I answer this. The earth and universe, it's in time. It's a creation. The earth and the universe is a creation and it's in time. But like I said, since God is outside of time, it's impossible for us to like fully grasp like his entire nature. Okay, that's where the word faith comes in at. Because something can come from nothing. And when we say something can come from nothing, we're saying on the basis of what we see in earth, like in time. So everything in time, there has to be a cause and effect. Like the earth and universe, since the earth and universe is in time, there has to be a creation behind it. There has to be a beginning of it. Like it can't come from nothing. Because the earth and the universe is a creation. It didn't make itself. Okay. So to summarize that entire question where it says, which leads me to this, if God can just exist, not come from anything, then why can that not be true for the earth and the rest of the universe? That it just exists. It wasn't created. So to summarize and answer for that, the earth and the universe is in time. Okay. Everything in time has a creator behind it. Okay. It's like this massage gun. See them turn it on. So this right here, it came from somebody. Somebody made it. In time. And the earth and the trees, space, galaxies, whatever the case may be, it's in time. We can, I don't know if you can, whatever. You know what I mean? It's in time. So we know it's here. Since God exists outside of time, which we don't have, we're not privy, like we don't have full understanding of like what's going on up there and outside of time. That's where faith comes in at. So God being out of time, he came in time, he looked in time, then boom, made the earth and the universe. So yeah, that's the answer. Because the earth and the universe is a creation in time. Anyways, next point. I've come to disagree with the Bible on some stuff. Um, personally, sorry, I'm watching the game. Personally, I see no more issues or problems with homosexuality. I have no problems with it either. I don't see an issue with sex before marriage. So long as you are responsible and use protection. But the Bible does not agree with this. But this is what I truly believe and feel. They are sins, but in my eyes, are morally okay, and I do not see it as evil. How am I supposed to follow it? My true beliefs conflicted. So this, what I would ask you is, what is your basis on what's true, what's wrong, what's correct and what's not correct? Like, how can you say that your belief system is right? Okay, so let me give you an example. Say for like we all can agree that rape and sexual abuse, like SA, assault, all those things are wrong, right? Okay. So hypothetically speaking, for the opposite side, who don't see those things as wrong, like like how can we tell them that it's wrong? And then think from their perspective, how can they tell us that we're wrong? Like, this making sense. This is all a hypothetical example. Like, obviously, I agree that that stuff is wrong, but just for, like, the point of what I'm saying, this goes back into like how can we tell who's right and who's wrong? Okay, like there has to be some type of moral lawgiver on on all this stuff that we're talking about, like on the basis of truth. Okay, and then to add to this, don't take this as me attacking you, but I want to challenge you on this question. All right, since you are created, you didn't make this earth. You didn't make these laws, these rules, and regulations. My question is, who are you to say that this is something that is true, or this is something that is wrong? Like, who are you to say that I see no moral issues or problems with homosexuality? Like, who are you to be that person to tell if it's right or wrong on what basis? Okay, just like I said, that about that example, there has to be some type of base on like who's right and who's wrong. Because one side of the party believes that this is wrong, but the other side of the party believes that that is not wrong, it's actually right. So there's going to be some type of discourse and discord between the two, and that comes back to like what's true, who gave us the moral law and moral code. Because all of us are born with some type of like we're bent to know what is right and what is wrong, but then that goes back to like who gave it to us because we didn't come up with it. Because if that be true, in some cases people believe that what you see as right is wrong, but then you think that they're wrong and they think it's right. So there's going to be conflict if there's some type of truth, like no foundation of truth right there. So let's keep going. I realized the only reason I kept following God all these years is because of a fear. So much again. It's because of a fear of hell. I've been a Christian my whole life, but I've never felt the presence of God. I've never connected to Him. The only reason, okay, let me take this back. Let me answer these questions one by one. I realized the only reason I kept following God all these years is because of a fear of hell. I'm gonna keep reading. I've been a Christian my whole life, but I've never felt the presence of God. I've never felt connected to Him. The only reason I followed was because if I didn't, I end up in hell. But now I feel that the idea of hell is fear mongering, just to keep people in the religion. I realized I wasn't following God because I truly believed. It was because I was told I suffered for eternity if I didn't follow Him. I did used to believe, but in recent years, it was just because of the idea of hell. All right, let me answer this. I'm gonna say this, and I'm sorry this happened to you, but you were introduced to God the wrong way. I'm sorry that happened to you. Like everybody has their type of like how they were introduced to who God is and who God, and yeah, like the whole Christian faith, whatever the case may be. So in your case, I'm sorry this happened to you, but the way you were introduced to God, it was the absolute wrong way because perfect love casts out all fear. God has not given us a spirit of fear. So since we know that God is not the author of fear, who gave you that fear that came from mankind, and they're like I wouldn't say ignorance or arrogance because I don't want to assume because I don't know. Honestly, I wasn't there, so I don't want to assume like whatever like what the case may have been. Because when it comes to having a relationship with God, it's just like a relationship with your friends, family, boyfriend, girlfriend. You know what I mean? Because it's like friends are friend. It's not this type of see. It's not this type of dictatorship. Okay, because God, He's our Father, and He made us. It's making sense. So let me keep going. I've been a Christian my whole life, but I never felt the presence of God. I never felt connected to Him. I want you to be careful not be careful basing your relationship with God on feelings. Okay? Because if you do that, that's gonna lead you astray. Don't ever base a relationship on like feelings. Specifically speaking like with you and God. Because like I think I mentioned this earlier, we know that we don't see oxygen, but we know that it exists. Okay, so in the same way, since we can't see God, we know He exists around us. All right, let me keep reading. Let me see if I have anything else to add. So yeah, since your relationship with God may have been founded on fear, which is wrong, that whatever something is founded on, everything that follows after that is just bound to fail. You know what I mean? So in your case, since your relationship with God was founded on fear, that kept you. I would say that might have kept you in some type of bubble. Since there was fear in that relationship, that may have kept you from feeling connected to God because because the way that you're connected to God is by spending time with Him. You know what I mean? Like one-on-one relationship, devotion time, secret place, whatever the case may be. So, but the reason why your relationship with Him was founded on fear, everything you did after that was because of what was right here. It was fear. So so every single time, so everything after that, everything that you did was because of like right here. It was the fear and all that. So that hindered you and that prevented you from actually experiencing a real relationship. Like what? Think of it this way: what type of relationship would there be if there's fear in it? You know what I mean? By fear, I'm talking about like dread, like feeling scared of this person. That's not a relationship. That's control. Okay, but when it comes to the Christian faith and having fear of God, the definition of fear in that case is reverence. You know what I mean? Like you have respect for that person, you honor them. Think of like your parents, you honor them for the things that they've done for you. So in the same way, that's a healthy reverential fear for God and Him giving you the breath of life. Let me continue. The only reason I follow is because if I didn't, I end up in hell. That goes back to what I said about you being introduced to God the wrong way. The tactics that the people used was on the basis of fear, or you felt fear in that moment because what they told you. Okay, because the thing with God, He is not a religion; it's a relationship. He didn't come to start a religion; He came to start a relationship. Let me say that one more time. Jesus didn't come to start a religion; He came to start a relationship. You keep reading. The only reason I follow was because if I didn't, I end up in hell. But now I feel that the idea of hell is fear mongering. That goes back to the way they introduced you. That they built the basis of fear. People use because trust me, people that have ill intentions when it comes to you, when it comes to introducing you to God. Basically, what I mean by this. The only reason I follow is because if I didn't, I end up in hell. But now I feel that the idea of hell is fear mongering. So the way that I would address this is that I wasn't there um, when you were introduced to God. Okay, and I'm sorry if you were introduced to God the wrong way. And so, although even though hell is a real place, people it's important for people to speak on hell and like how real it is and why like how serious it is. It's a serious issue just to keep people in the religion. So I guess this goes back to like their motives of it. But all in all, it's the right thing to do to preach about hell. Okay, just to keep people in the religion. Like I said, Jesus didn't come to start religion; He came to start a relationship. So maybe this is probably what happened. They probably taught you more about hell than they did about the relationship with God, like the relational aspect of God and who God is, and how much He loves for you and how much He cares for you. Okay, just keep people in the religion. Because like I said, perfect love casts out all fear. Okay, I realized I wasn't following God because I truly believe. Yeah, because the foundation was fear, and wherever there's fear there is no type of authenticity. You know what I mean? If there's any type of fear in a relationship, it's not authentic. It was because I was told I'd suffer for eternity if I didn't follow Him. I did used to believe, but in recent years, it was just because of the idea of hell. All right, now to recap this, and what I will say about this is that I'm glad that you came to terms and realizations of the flaws of how you were introduced to God and like the wrong way. So to recap this, man, I would just say it's time. I'm glad you like posted this in here so that you can get some counsel from everybody that's answering this, so that they can like give their input on what you should do about this. But what I think you should do is go and seek a true relationship with God and get to know Him for yourself. Okay, don't don't think about like the fear of like you going to hell. Think of it like you trying to get to know somebody, like a friendship. You meet somebody new, so you want to get to know them. So in the same way you should. You know what I'm saying? have that relationship, like seek out a true relationship with Jesus for yourself, so that you can get to know Him. Because yeah, anything if a relationship is founded on fear, it's somebody fear mongering you, then yeah, it's only a matter of time before it ends. So that was that was a lot, man. Um, there's a verse that says, "Oh, taste and see that the Lord is good." So that's something I will leave you with. Also, another thing, do not base your relationship with God on emotions. Okay, emotions or feelings, because the basis of believing in God is faith. Without faith, it's impossible to yeah. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So don't base your relationship off of feelings. Rather, go off of character. You know, character, integrity, things of that sort. Because think about this: in a relationship that you would be in with somebody, although they will make you feel great and feel good, there's such thing called as a yes man. Okay, so watch this. When you would be in a relationship with somebody, would you prefer to be in a relationship with someone who has a high character and high integrity, or would you be with somebody that that makes you feel good, like always makes you feel good, but the character and integrity is questionable. It's not good at all. Because that goes back to you basing your relationship off of feelings. Because yes, although they make you feel good, that doesn't mean they're telling you the truth all the whole time. But somebody that has character and integrity, they're telling you the right thing that you need to hear, even though it won't make you feel good. There it is. It won't make you feel good. That doesn't mean that this person isn't true. This person isn't someone that you should listen to, because that's further from the truth. I would rather have somebody that has character, integrity, because I know that they won't lead me astray. So I hope that makes sense. So that's my I record for 30 minutes, man. I gotta time this up for real. But this was a lot. So yeah, this is my 2 cents, man. Ma'am or sir. All right. Also keep this in your mind too. God exists outside of time. That being said, we do not know. We do not comprehend everything about God. He exists outside of time. All right. Faith. That's where it's at. Faith.